Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to RWBY. Don't know why I did that, sorry about that. Volume 7, Chapter 6. So yeah, we are here with another episode of RWBY, and God, I am excited for this. Like, holy shit, this volume is just, like, insane so far, in a very good way. The Aesops are fantastic. I'm loving what they're doing with our teams. We got Team Funky back. And we have some really interesting stuff with the council seat with Jacques versus Robin Hill. And Jacques now has Watts on his side, which is not good. Not good for anyone. And last episode, Jacques basically incited riots in Mantle. So that's fun. Riots are never a good thing, and especially in a place that is already really on the verge of just breaking down. Let's put it that way. Mantle's in a very, very tough spot right now, and honestly, Ironwood knows it. He understands. He's trying to do what he can to help, but it's an unfortunate side effect of what he's doing while to help. So it's like there's not too much he can unfortunately do at this point. Which is why he's trying to get things better. He's trying to move things along with his big plans. But now that we have these riots starting, yeah, it's going to be bad. Things are getting a lot worse. And I want to kind of, like, just point out the elephant in the room here. We know what they're doing with Jacques. We know what this is a parallel to in real life. Like, think about it. Multi-million-dollar businessman running for public office. We know what the fuck they're doing. It's not a secret. Also, I say multi-million, but, you know, billionaire and whatnot as well. Could be. Especially with the monopoly the Schnee-Dust Company has. But yeah, it's just like, it's not a secret. And to be completely fair, a lot of people complain about this kind of stuff, saying, oh, it's pandering to political agendas and stuff. But for me, I think it's like, this kind of stuff is a real issue in the real world. And by having these shows acknowledge that with their own characters, their own versions of that, I think it's important. It gets more people talking about it. It gets more attention on this kind of stuff that we need to have. So I'm fine with that. This is a very clear parallel to what's happening currently in America. It's undeniable. Jacques is a very clear parallel to you-know-who. But at the same time, he stands out as his own character, too. He comes across as his own separate entity at the same time, and it's like it's really cool when shows do that, when they can make clear parallels but at the same time make them feel unique in their own right. And I think the Schnee family is one of the big reasons for why Jacques feels a little more unique. Now granted, of course, you-know-who has the entire family thing going on too, but yeah, there's not as much division in that kind of thing in real life. Yeah. But I'm not gonna talk too much about that here. I did want to bring that up because it's like, it's super obvious. And the inciting violence kind of thing. It's not like it's not as blatant as it has been in real life. But it's like, yeah, he knew, and everyone knew, that by closing down the non-essential Schnee-Dust Company operations, that this kind of shit would happen, considering Mantle's position and feelings already. Yeah. So, not good. Now, I don't know anything about this episode going into it except one small thing. I know that something happens with Tyrion. I don't know what. I have no freaking clue. I just know that people had posted, like, non-spoilery social media posts saying that, like, basically just showing shock and awe over Tyrion. And I don't even remember, like, what all of those were, like, saying exactly. Like, I don't know the exact context of the posts, but I just know there's, like, a lot of shock and awe, and it was about Tyrion. So I don't know what happens to Tyrion or what Tyrion does, but considering what he's been doing already, the entire taking out, like, basically Ironwood's enemies or those speaking out against Ironwood or stuff to try and make Ironwood seem like the bad guy even more. It's like something, it's probably going to get bigger here. Now, obviously, I don't think, like, Robin's going to die. No. No. I don't think Tyrion's going to take out her. That, it would be way too early after her introduction for that. But I do definitely think something is going to happen here. Something maybe pretty big. We'll just have to see. Something happens with Tyrion, though, and a lot of people are in shock about it. That's all I know. But our teams, Team RWBY and most of Team Orange, which, by the way, I did find out about after this last episode. Because the last episode, it's like I put it up and then I started watching other people's reactions. And someone mentioned that as their name, and I thought about it, it's like, oh shit, yeah, that actually makes sense. Because Oscar was working with them in their training battle against Team Funky, and it's like, oh, Oscar, Ren, Nora, Jean, Orange. Yeah. Because it goes with the entire color theme that a lot of this show, not the entire show's characters and teams work with, but a lot of them do have the color theme, which was always meant to be a thing, obviously. Even Ozpin in the first season said that a lot of people started naming their children after colors and all, after the war for artistic freedom and shit. But yeah, it's like, that's a good point. Some people have been wondering if Oscar is kind of on their team now, and I mean, I guess we can consider it the case, because I believe even in the opening, when it's like it shows Team RWBY and then it shows Team Orange, I think it does show Oscar with them. So I at least now, I guess it makes sense to consider that, because otherwise they'd probably, I guess you'd still consider them Team Ranger. I guess, but I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say with only 3 of them. But yeah, either way. Or no, Junior actually. Yeah, it'd be Team Junior, because J and R, because they don't have the P for Juniper. And it wouldn't be Ranger anymore because because RWBY's not part of the team. So RWBY's back, Team RWBY are back together. So yeah, more like Team Junior, not Ranger. But yeah, it's like either way, that's a little interesting thing that I noticed as well. So it's like, yeah. Either way, I'm very excited for this. This volume has been phenomenal so far. But, I mean, that's not really a surprise. Every volume has just continuously been better and better than the last. So it's like, that just makes sense. That I've been phenomenally enjoying this. But like I said, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I know almost nothing about the episode. All I know is Tyrion is somehow involved. Which isn't a surprise, because he's been involved. I guess we'll find out. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the reaction. And we are back and begin as spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I clearly know what people were freaking out about with Tyrion and something shocking. Although, it's not really shocking. I hate to say it, but I expected something like this. Maybe not on the election night, and honestly, I didn't even expect the election to be happening this soon, but... I expected Watts and Tyrion to do something like this. They had already started killing people. We know that Watts was working with Jacques. We know that they were going to somehow try to influence the election. Once again, clear parallel to real life. But let's get that out of the way, and then we can end off with some more positive stuff from this episode. Not that this bad stuff that happened wasn't positive in terms of its quality, but it wasn't positive in terms of, like, you know, we didn't like it. Yeah. So, at the party to kind of celebrate Robin's victory, very prematurely held, everybody's watching the live election results and cheering as Robin comes up on stage, and everything. We see Nora and Ren start to fight. Ruby is off with Penny, talking with her, and Marrow and the others are there too, and all Robin's heavy huntresses. But afterwards, we notice Tyrion's there. Watts gives the order, starts conducting the attack, and Tyrion, as the lights go out, starts just killing people. Totally a Tyrion thing to do. And he even attacks Fiona, which Fiona was clearly alive, but she might be poisoned. However, we do know that his poison can... It can be reversed. He can be saved. Or she can be saved, rather. Tyrion's poison can be reversed. Fiona can be saved. Because, let's be honest, Uncle Crow had that poison in him a long time before he was saved. And he did get saved, and he's fine now. So it's like, as long as Fiona gets medical attention quick, if she is poisoned, she'll be fine. The only exception being is if Tyrion's poison was somehow enhanced by Watts, and it's a lot worse and a lot more deadly. Because Tyrion wasn't killing all of these people with his poison. No, he was using his weapons to kill them. So I think Fiona will be fine. I'm sure a lot of people are probably freaking out about that, because Fiona is pretty popular from what I've seen. Just because she's a cute lamb faunus. But yeah, I'm sure people will freak out about that, hoping she's okay. So that's interesting in and of its own right. But yeah. We saw a little bit of training in this episode. Ruby's enhancing her quirk, or goddamn. Enhancing her semblance quite a bit. I reacted to My Hero Academia right before this, okay? She's enhancing her semblance real quick. And doing some really interesting things with it. The others are improving as well. Oscar feels a little left out, though. So I'm hoping that they do a little more with him going forward, too. But yeah. We saw a little bit of that. We had a really good fun moment with everyone deciding what they were going to do for the night. We saw Blake putting on makeup and Blake and Yang practicing dancing together because they were going to go out and dance with Team Funky. Which, by the way, that moment where Yang is like trying to teach like how to dance right and everything is just fucking adorable. And oh, let's talk about that. There have still been people somehow who have been denying that Bumblebee is canon. Because apparently, according to some people, it has to blatantly say it, like blatantly shove it in our faces in order for it to actually be canon. Like, you know, they can't take it being handled subtly. So it's like Nora and Ren are talking, and they're talking about Blake and Yang, and Nora's like, just friends? And it's like, oh, come on. This show is blatantly telling us that Blake and Yang are a couple. Yes, true, we haven't seen them, like, blatantly kiss like Nora kissed Ren in this episode, which, by the way, I love that as well. But still, they're hammering it in a lot in these first episodes of this volume because of all of the people who had been denying it after Volume 6. Like, so many people were fucking denying it after the stuff with Adam and everything, despite it being so fucking obvious. So many people were denying, saying, oh no, they're still just friends. That was something that friends do. That was the way friends act together. It's like, no. No. But it's like, they're still denying it. And so now in these first episodes of this season, of this volume, it's like they're hammering it in so more blatantly. And it's like, it doesn't feel too forced, luckily, because it does feel natural in how the characters are specifically acting. Nora and Ren arguing over that, really kind of hammering in the issue that Nora's been having with their relationship lately. It feels like something Nora would say and do, so it's like, yeah, it feels kind of natural in the way they're doing it. Maybe not completely, but natural enough in the way they're handling it. So it's not like I'm upset and I feel that it's like hammering it in too much. But the fact that they have to do that, the fact that they have to hammer it in so much is kind of silly. Because of all of these people who just couldn't take a clue, who couldn't read between the lines. And I've talked before about how I think the RWBY fandom sucks. Like, overall. The RWBY fandom, at least from my experience from it, is super fucking toxic. Like, the shippers, like, they will attack people who don't agree with their ships a lot of the time. And not everyone, by the way, obviously. Not everyone is like that. But a lot of people I've personally seen are. In different social media groups and whatnot. They attack people, they if anyone like supports a ship like Bumblebee, like especially after Volume 6 with all the people saying, oh yay, Bumblebee's finally canon now, the people who were like convinced otherwise would violently and expletively attack the supporters of that ship and all. And people would be constantly hating on each other, and the fandom is also just constantly hating on pretty much anything post Volume 3. Because it didn't line up with their expectations of where the show would go. And their, yeah, just expectations is the best word, because it's like, it's what they, like, just automatically expected and assumed it was going to be. And because it didn't live up to that, because it ended up going in a different route, and Volumes 4 and 5 were more focused on character development and, you know, actually building this world and genuine, heartfelt, important moments that this show needed very badly. They're, like, just bitching and saying that Volumes 4 and 5 suck and shit, and it's like, oh, shut up. Even if you don't like Volumes 4 and 5 as much, which it's fine to not like them as much, it's like people have attacked those who do like it so much. As someone who has been on that receiving end of the attacks, I can say that with quite a lot of certainty. But yeah, it's like, it's great to see how everything has been building up to what's currently here. All the stuff with Blake and Yang, all the stuff with Ren and Nora, with Weiss's development, hell, even RWBY's. So it's like, it's great to see that. So beyond the fun little stuff and everything, Jacques did win. And it's not a surprise. Honestly, I knew Jacques was going to win. The instant this election thing with Jacques versus Robin was kind of made clear, it's like, Jacques winning. We don't want it to happen, but he's going to win somehow. When his evil mustache buddy Watts came in, and came into the Schnee mansion, and they kind of clearly started to work together. Sorry for the coughing, by the way. I need a drink. When Watts came in and started talking to Jacques, my mind blanked for a second there. It was super obvious that Watts was going to be helping him with the election. And it's like, yeah, we know Jacques is going to win. It sucks, but we know it's going to happen. But again, I didn't expect the election to happen this soon. I thought we still had quite a little bit of time before that. And I also did not expect him to win like this. I really didn't expect that to happen either. Granted, I don't think the election results were really due to Tyrion's attack. I think that was more to continue to build the distrust of Ironwood and demonize him and Penny and everything. Because it was made very clear that Tyrion was setting Penny up. That was made clear. I do like that RWBY saw Tyrion, though. That it wasn't just like completely in the dark for her. She knew what was going on. Now, she panicked and had a little freak out moment, which I do not blame her for. As you saw, when the lights were out and Tyrion was killing everyone, she was just kind of sitting by the stage, just basically having a panic attack. And again, I do not blame her. With her experience with Tyrion, with how her uncle, who she loves very dearly, was almost killed because of Tyrion. Yeah, she has a right to kind of have a little bit of PTSD from that. Now, don't get me wrong. RWBY's not going to go into as deep of a PTSD situation as Yang did after Volume 3. They're not going to just repeat the same kind of thing. But RWBY had a panic moment. She panicked because she did not expect that. Yeah, even if things went a little wrong, that freaked her the fuck out. And again, I do not blame her. I do not blame her in the slightest. But here's the positive note about it. They know. Penny and them know now that Tyrion is there, and they can put two and two together and figure out what to do about this all. They'll probably tell Ironwood, at least I hope so. They'll definitely tell Crow. And they're going to do something about this. So that's good at least. Now, I don't think that this is really going to come to a head until the end, though, of this volume. Now, in the opening, we also see Tyrion fighting both Robin and Crow. And as I mentioned in the reaction, I do think that Robin knows Penny was not behind this. I think she knows Penny saved her. So I think Robin is going to be on their side, and that Robin and her Happy Huntresses are going to work with our heroes to take on at least Tyrion. So I definitely think that's going to be going ahead. And again, I do think that Fiona will eventually be fine. She just needs to get treated. And Atlas is definitely going to have very high quality doctors, so we know that she'll be fine. Presuming Robin is good with them going up to Atlas to heal her instead of staying down at Mantle. Who knows what the doctors are like there. To be fair, I mean, we don't know. Because Mantle's not really in the best of condition. But yeah, I think Robin and her Happy Huntresses are going to work with our heroes. And yeah, this is going to be a big deal going forward. Now, I think Watts will probably end up getting away in the end. A lot of people were saying that this might be Watts' last season, that he's going to, like, this will be his big thing. But I think it's more likely this will be Tyrion's last. I think Tyrion might end up being defeated or even killed by the end of this volume. Just based on what we've seen. Because to be completely honest, our heroes do not know Watts are here. To be completely honest, I don't think our heroes know Watts at all. Like, because he wasn't in the attack on Haven. They've met Tyrion. They met, Hazel, that's his name. But they obviously know Cinder. But I don't think they actually know Watts at all. Raven, I think, met Watts. Because I believe Watts was there with Cinder when Cinder talked to Raven. But I don't think our heroes actually know Watts, so they have no reason to suspect him. Now, if Ironwood or Robin or someone knows who Watts is, but at the same time, Watts is also supposed to be dead. He faked his death. So there's that, too, that has to be taken into account. I don't know if people are going to automatically assume that he's in on it in any way. We'll have to see. But yeah, I think Watts is going to end up getting away from this. Now, as for Jacques, he won the election here. But with this attack, they might want to hold off on things for a moment to figure this out. Since it was on election night and everything. Even if it was just basically like seconds before the results. The final results. I don't know. But if Jacques does keep his win and continues on, that's going to be the other big plot line going forward. And Weiss and Winter obviously going to have a big role in that. Now, Jacques is going to have a council seat, but that's just a council seat. It's not like he has, like, pull to change everything himself. He just has a bigger role to play, and he's going to have a lot more of a pull than he did have. But with Watts working with him, who knows exactly what's going to happen with that? We'll have to see. There's a lot that this episode kind of sets in motion. So we're going to have to see what the payoff ends up being like. But there is a lot happening. And again, let's try to focus a little bit on the happier stuff. Let's focus on the fact that Bumblebee is, like, even more blatantly confirmed that Nora and Ren kiss, that Weiss has a really fucking cute giggle. Let's focus on that stuff, shall we? Let's just not focus on the bad stuff, even though the bad stuff is, like, very prominent and it's definitely the big point here. Yeah. But in all seriousness, it's like, this was a very, very damn good episode. Even though I don't like this bad stuff happening, it is good for the writing, it's good for the story, and the continuing conflict. So, yeah. We'll see where it goes from here. For now, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of RWBY Volume 7, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. If you want to check out any of my social media links and more, please check them out over to the side. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please leave those down below. In the meantime, though, thank you so much once again for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.